welcome everyone to the final episode of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Welcome to the last episode of this season, and we are so happy to be here at the sunny Jarama in Spain. Welcome to the last race this season, and they're always greeting us if we're standing here at the pit exit. Yes, we are so ready for this final race. It's reverse grid time. We are ready for some action also. And as you can see, the trucks are finding their ways. Stefan Faas right now passing by, and then on the lap around, and then they will find the position just behind the Pace truck and of course our Ford F-Max truck also. Welcome everyone, and welcome to our commentators for this last round. Welcome Chest Record, Joachim Eberts and Fonzie Severian. We are ready to go.
Yes, thank you so much, Christina. I cannot believe that the end of the season has already come around. I was just having a very, very thoughtful and I can't think of the word now, a deep and meaningful, as we call it in the UK, with the wonderful Georg Fuchs, and we were talking together about how quickly the season's gone already and how fast this weekend has gone as well, already into the last race. Today may have been a long day for everybody in the series, having to wait after the red flag earlier today for the barrier repairs, delays everywhere else as well. It was, well, a very, very busy day. Despite not a lot going on, it's just really taking its toll, I think. Still, here we go for the track layout. And this is the amazing Jarama circuit where we have the last race of the weekend taking place. As you can see, many heavy braking zones here, and that's without the undulation of this place taken into consideration as well. Corners like Portago, Monza, the Le Mans and Farina section as well, the S's, where all of the fans culminate to blare the air horns, shout and cheer. It's just such a magical place here at Jarama. Lovely, lovely location to end the season as well. Usually we get the Spanish sunshine. It's not been so sunny throughout today, but right now it is a little bit more bright and beautiful, so hopefully we can finish the season in the golden glow here just north of Madrid. You can see the green flags flying there as the trucks make their way out onto the circuit, all of them now completing their warm-up lap as such. And we have the grid itself here. Now this is the top 8 from the earlier race. Reversed. Antonio Albacete on pole position though, and it looks like he was holding back slightly to make sure he kept that pole position for his Spanish fans here. He may not have wrapped up third in the championship here this weekend, but he's still giving them something to shout about. Mark Taylor has given all of us Brits and his team something to shout about with second place in the Chrome Championship. He will start ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Andre Kurzim on the second row of the grid. Steffi Halm and Sasha Lenz will make up row 3 with Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kisch together on the 4th row. Stefan Faas will start from 9th position, just ahead of Louis Riquenco after a great battle earlier on. Bradley Smith will be 11th with his countryman John Newell alongside him. Then it's Clemens Hecker and Jonathan Andre on the 7th row of the grid. Craig Reed and Simon Faulkner will start on row 8, and we're hoping to see out on the grid Luke Garrett for the final time this season after having a very, very difficult day with issues earlier on. He wasn't out in race 3, but the rest of the field were, so let's have a look at the highlights of how they got on and how they formed this reverse grid. As ever, we had Norbert Kisch and Jochen Hahn on the front row, but as you can see, it was much more cloudy. It was still nice and warm out there in the weather itself, but I tell you what, definitely not what we expected for the first race of the day. The second row of the grid was Sasha Lenz and Steffi Halm. There was a tiny bit of contact into the first corner where they could have taken advantage, but it was so tightly packed down there at turn 1 that they did not manage to do it. The whole field was really close together in the opening stages, so everybody looking for mistakes from the truck in front, just that little bit of concentration lapse, and they would have been through. It was Sasha Lenz chasing down Jochen Hahn for second position, while Steffi Halm held firm in 4th place ahead of Andre Kurzim. Antonio Albacete was sat behind Mark Taylor for the entire race, not taking any risks, not pushing it too hard, but it was the battle in the Chrome class that became the apparent issue for Louis Riquenco. He was having a few moments here and there where he was losing the back end of the truck, basically, and eventually Stefan Faas got through, but there was not long enough in the race left to go for him to catch back up to Mark Taylor and take the second. But Norbert Kisch took another fantastic victory ahead of Jochen Hahn and Sasha Lenz, and the three of them joined each other on the podium for the umpteenth time And we'll throw back down to the grid, shall we? And we'll go and speak to Christina.
Yes, we're here at front row, P number 1. Everyone wants to take a photo and want to have a chat with Antonio Albacete. Buenas.
Hola.
Hola. Greeting the personnel here, very nice. Antonio, that was quite some tactics ending on P8 after the last race so that you can start right now from P1, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's good, but it doesn't mean anything, you know. I mean, we have to finish the race to cross the checker flag. And I will try to win the race for sure. It will be nice if we can win the race here with my own crown in my home circuit. It will be a fantastic finish for the season, you know. We have always a little bit of problems in the second races. I don't know why, but I have a little bit of problems. So I hope not to have anyone this time and win the race.
Everyone is really looking forward. It's the end of the season, but one goal is also to keep the truck in one piece over the start-finish line. But you are going to get a full risk at the start that you can have the gap in between you and the rest of the pack.
Yeah, I mean, I will try to make a good gap, you know, because I know that if the rest of the field, Norby or Jochen, they are very fast also in this circuit. So if they go through the field, they maybe can catch me, you know. So yeah, I will try to make a gap and see what happens.
Thank you very much. Photos taken here also from the officials. Good luck then.
Thank you very much.
And as we can see, everyone is trying to get some pictures. We need to be safe here and having a look at all the other trucks then.
There is the lineup at the front of the grid then. Antonio Albacete on the left-hand side of your shot with Mark Taylor on the right-hand side. Apologies again, everybody. Having more connection issues here, but it seems to always be before the race and not during the race, thankfully. So hopefully we can keep this running as smoothly as possible. You can see a lot of people there gathered around the front of the grid. So many people here to see Antonio Albacete this weekend. I don't think I've actually managed to see into the T-Sport Burnout awning all weekend because of the massive people have been outside it and out at the front wanting to see Antonio. I had a good chat with him earlier on in the weekend, and he was being asked if he was going to be at the autograph session, if he was going to be there, here or there, and he said, listen, on these weekends at Jarama, I've got no time for anything at all. It's just constant engagement from Antonio, and we really do tip our hats to him because he's really good at absorbing all of that and really gives the fans what they want, and this pole position is definitely what they'll want as well. The final race of the season. Dance of the season together. And just in front, Steffi Halm, starting from the third row of the grid this time round after a good last time round. She'll be very pleased with that one. And Stefan Fass, not so happy with that previous result, of course, but at the end of the day, he's fought as hard as he can for the Chrome Championship, and finishing in third place will still be a great achievement for he and the team. He starts alongside Louis Requenco, a truck that he saw a lot of in that first race of the day, and he'll be hoping to make sure it stays in his mirrors. We've got Bradley Smith there alongside John Newell as well, the two drivers that have raced against each other for many years now in the British Championship. Great to see them both here in mainland Europe as well, taking on the great challenge that is the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. The fans all lining the banks and grandstands then for this final encounter of the weekend here at Jarama.
I can't believe that this season is coming to an end, but still one race to go. Hello and welcome everyone to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship 2024, the the biggest finale here at Jarama. And we're so happy to see the personnel here on the grid walk, and still the fans are gathering out there to see the Giants on the track compete. And of course, we have small delays today, but everyone is trying to keep the pace up right now for this final episode of this season. So happy, so excited to see everyone. And I talked to the drivers. They want to compete right now. They want a clean race, but also they're trying to give their best on their maneuvers. And speaking of the best driver this season, already set up, that's the champion. That's Norbert Kiss, the Hungarian powerhouse. And also this weekend with the last pole position of this weekend, end of the season, he made them all. That is a great, great achievement. So it's time to get to know the champion a bit better in a rapid fire question interview. 12 rounds of rapid fire questions with the champion, with Norbert Kiss. So winning the first race or reverse grid? Rapid questions.
Winning the first one.
We're getting there. I think it's always like you need to speed up during the race. Favorite track to race on?
Le Mans.
That sounds really great. Manual or automatic transmission?
Automatic.
I totally agree. Sea or mountains for vacation?
Mountains.
I would rather go to sea. Night owl, or are you an early bird?
Oh, night owl. Really bad night owl.
What is your favorite pre-race meal?
I don't know, not much. Chocolate, ice cream.
I love that too. Racing truck sports or just a car for fun sometimes?
Oh, racing trucks. I love it.
Sounds good. Most memorable win?
There is so many, but for sure, which comes to my mind immediately is the first 20 points race that I could win in Smolensk in 2013, I think, was it? That was the first time ever I could win a race for 20 points. So that was a nice moment, because I was thinking that we could never do that, but in the end we could.
And you repeated it quite often. So superpower, would it be invisibility or flying?
Oh, flying, for sure.
And sim racing or real racing?
Well, I mean, both. Can I choose both? I mean, for sure, I think they...
One joker.
Yeah, I use it on this one. Because, for sure, I think both, they go along so well, summertime we do this. Wintertime I go sim racing. Sometimes the summertime as well I go sim racing. It's much more cheap, much less risk, so it's really fun.
And a favorite motorsport other than truck racing, of course?
I guess I'll have to say Formula One. I think probably is the pinnacle of the motorsports, and I think it's very well organized, promoted, very good to watch, I think. Especially nowadays when it's very exciting.
Final question. Would you rather drive a road trip across Europe or just fly around the world?
Fly around the world, for sure. I mean, there is so much to see.
Absolutely. That was the rapid fire question with Norbert Kiss. Thank you.
Thank you. A bit too slow, but okay.
That's the only time I think Norby will ever be described as slow. But Norbert Kiss, our champion once again here in 2024. 6-time champion of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship now. And what a fantastic guy he is. Really has done an amazing job with reverse racing over the last couple of years. And we'll throw back down to the grid and go and speak to Christina, shall we?
Untold, and welcome to the club. And it's an amount that's so spectacular. Hello, Jochen. It's the 850th race from you. Yes. Wow, congratulations. So it's like 425 hours, if we just say approximately 30 minutes race, and maybe 17.7 days racing in a rock truck. And what a great achievement that is also for you. What are you saying? Because you're saying, yes, that's a great number.
You love statistics, huh? Yeah, it's amazing. 850 races. But, I say it in German, you must translate. Solange ich Freude daran habe, werde ich 1000 Fahrer oder 1500 Fahrer. Und solange ich spüre, dass wir uns steigern können und weiter um die Plätze kämpfen zu können, die dann irgendwann auch wieder Platz 1 vielleicht bedeuten können. Solange machen wir das.
So he says he's competing until he's still feeling the happiness of competing. Then it's going to be 1,000 races or even 1,200 and even more. And as long as they are trying to give their best and have great achievements, he's going to continue. Of course, you're going to continue next season, but the final race is on. What are you expecting?
Yeah, you know, now it's the time to enjoy. Everybody, it's done in the championship. Now it's the time to enjoy, to play a little bit, to make something after the race for the spectators, for the visitors, and now we enjoy it. I think everybody will enjoy it.
We do also. Thank you very much. And yes, of course, I love statistics.
Oh, absolutely. We have to feed the people the numbers for the championship, and it was great to give Jochen the nod there at the 850th race. What a fantastic number that is. That's a hell of a lot of races to have under your belt. But Jochen is a real stalwart of the championship. Does a hell of a lot for truck racing in general. You know, he's an absolute superstar. We love having him in the series. We also love having May Fisher in the series as well. This is her final inspection lap of the 2024 season, everybody, so we hope that you appreciate it. And this is done in the Ford F-Max, the official truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Once again, lovely to have Ford trucks on board as a sponsor for this season. And as I'm sure you've learned by now, this F-Max was designed and tested by over 500 Ford engineers. There was over 15,500 hours of lab testing, 5 million kilometers of road testing, and over 200 prototype units were put through said testing as well in 11 countries and 4 continents. And a hell of a lot of work went into making this beautiful machine. And you will see them all across Europe on the road. And make sure you give them a wave when you do see them as well, because they are great looking bits of kit, and it's a pleasure to work alongside Ford trucks and have them as a partner of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Now the personnel make their way off the grid, and the grid will be clear before you know it. And this, I can't believe, is the final race of the season. Every time it comes around, it seems to get quicker and quicker every time. Let's have a look at the grid then, shall we? For this one, because there is a reverse grid element about it, where the 8th finisher in the previous race will now start from pole position. It's going to be Antonio Albacete on pole, with Mark Taylor alongside him on the front row, finishing 8th and 7th, respectively, in that earlier race. The second row of the grid is going to be Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, and then Andre Kurzim will be alongside him. Steffi Halm will start from the third row with Sasha Lenz in 6th position. Sasha Lenz earlier this weekend confirming the 3rd position in the championship, while of course Mark Taylor confirmed 2nd place in the championship for the Chrome class as well. There is Steffi alongside Sasha. Hopefully Steffi feeling a bit better today. She was under the weather yesterday but still took a race victory in race 2. That shows you how committed she is to the racing. Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kisch make up an epic 4th row of the grid. There are 12 championship titles between them on that row alone, and they're followed by Stefan Fass and Louis Requenco. The 2 drivers in the Chrome class have been putting in fantastic drives this season, and we look forward to one final bout with the both of them. Next up is Bradley Smith and John Newell on the 6th row of the grid. Following them will be Heinrich Clemens Hecker. After a big off in the practice session earlier today, it's good to have him back out on circuit. And then Jonathan Andre, great to have him back on the grid this season as well. He joined us earlier on in the championship and now joins us for the finale. So too do Craig Reed and Simon Faulkner. And I'm delighted to say that at the back of the grid, we have Luke Garrett for the final race of the season. They've had such poor luck this year. Hopefully it's now a chance to put that behind them and at least have one last dance out there on the circuit. In fact, actually, in that very moment, Luke's good friend and mechanic Daryl has just texted me saying, fingers crossed this will be a good one to complete the season. They are due some luck, I can tell you that. But again, the persistence and the perseverance from that team and Luke as well has just been epic, really epic. And they've carried on time and time again. It'd be very easy to just throw the toys out of the pram and just go home, but they haven't. They have persevered time and time again, and it's great to see it. It's great to see the Iveco S-Way as well at the front of the field. This is the bio-LNG-powered Iveco S-Way that is our official pace truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, driven by our beloved Frank the Tank. It's our 4th season with Frank now, and it's absolutely great to have him here. Or at least it's my 4th season with Frank anyway. And he's just a lovely, lovely guy. Always a pleasure to be around and have a drink with as well. And he's certainly good at his job. He definitely knows how to drive. There's been a few times this season and in the past seasons where he's scared the life out of me in either the Iveco or the F-Max. And it's certainly a hell of a machine. But this bio-LNG powered Iveco S-Way reduces up to 95% of the emissions from a standard diesel truck. And it, of course, has no difference in operation as a driver either. There's no lack of power or torque as a result of that. And the way it operates and gets refilled, very similar to that of a standard diesel truck. There is Luke Garrett in truck 42. At the back end of the order, hoping to make positions ahead of his countrymen Craig Reed and Simon Faulkner, who start directly ahead. But we hope that you're all ready for the final race of the season, everyone. We've got about half a lap left to go yet on the formation lap. But Antonio Albacete on pole position will be hoping to make something of this and really give the Spanish fans something to cheer about. He's not chasing third in the championship anymore. He's just here to enjoy this final race. As Jochen said, pretty much all of the championship positions are now determined. So this is a case of the drivers going out there and just wrapping up a few loose ends and hopefully having an enjoyable experience on the way. Let's not forget as well that this is the full grid for this last race. We had 17 trucks enter this weekend, and we're going to finish it with a full complement as well, which is great to see. That is testament as well to all of the teams that work together to help fix each other's trucks. We had a big off, of course, for Clemens Hecker earlier in the weekend. There was no less than 7 teams helping them out to get the front end of that truck fixed and get it out for qualifying. And then as well with Luke and the team, they had issues earlier in the day with steering. The problems persisted and they couldn't get out in race 1. And then more members of other teams came back to help fix their truck as well. It's been a real great weekend for showcasing the One Truck family mantra. So, with a lump in my throat for the final time this season, everybody, round number 28 of the 2024 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship is underway. The green lights come on and they go pouring down the start-finish straight down towards the first couple of corners. Nuvolari, the left-hander then, and it's going to be Sasha Lenz on the left-hand side, right-hand side of our shot, left-hand side of the grid, trying to make a move down into turn 1, makes it 3 wide on the outside. There's not a hell of a lot of room for that. He tries not to lock it up. There's a little puff of smoke from the left-hand side. Antonio Albacete holds his lead, but Sasha Lenz is elbowed off the circuit. There definitely wasn't room for it all back there. Simon Faulkner and Craig Reed making a bit of contact further back as well, and Sasha has issues. He can't get back onto the circuit soon enough. He drops all the way back to last position after the first little shake up there down at turn 1. Not sure if there's damage, but it's Albacete leading the way, then Mark Taylor, then Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Steffi Halm next up, Bradley Smith on the gravel as well as he has a bit of a shimmy through the Farina corner. He's got John Newell next to him as he rejoins the circuit. Now Simon Faulkner is sideways. Luke Garrett tries to get out of the way of that as well. Incredible stuff. Trucks all over the place there. They'll definitely be shouting about that in the grandstands and all on the banks. But it's Albacete now nearly clear by a second. Looked like side-by-side action there with Andre Kurzim. And was that Stefan Faas in there as well? It was. Scania versus Iveco into the hairpin down at Portago. Let's not forget it's Andre Kurzim's final race with Don't Touch Racing. He's going to be trying to prove a point for the team, bring them some silverware. He's going to be pushing on as hard as possible. It's the Tank Pool 24 Scania that's trying to put a stop to him at the moment as they remain side by side down the hill. Norbert Kirsch is the truck ahead of Andre Kurzim right now, as he has managed to completely move on Stefan Faas. There's Clemens Hecker ahead of Jonathan Andre, truck number 66, heading back up the hill towards Monza. There is Kurzim leading Stefan Faas, then Louis Riquenco, and then Bradley Smith. There's a yellow flag up at turn 12, as there will be for the rest of the day. That's where Clemens Hecker's truck went straight on earlier today, so they are prohibiting any overtaking from up there. Everybody running a little bit wide around the final corner, nearly clipping the penalty markers. I think Craig Reed got a little bit close there. He's got Sasha Lenz right behind him now. But it's Antonio Albacete, Spanish driver, leading the way at the moment. After taking advantage of the reverse grid, he finds himself at the front of the pack. He's got 2 race victories this year with 7 podiums. Still sits 4th in the championship ahead of Steffi Halm by 20 points. As, John Newell was off there at the first corner. John was wide of turn 1. Manages to keep the power in and get back on the circuit. Well, he will do. Will look more like a Rally Dakar entry there for a moment from John Newell. Mark Taylor is holding on ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Steffi Halm at the moment. Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kisch in there as well. It's such a shake-up at the start of the race that so many of them are out of position. Apparently the off for the number 18 is being reviewed at the moment, so we'll have to see what the cause of that was. Norbert Kisch now sat behind Jochen Hahn. Like I said before, the 2 of them between them with 12 championship titles, both with 6 apiece, wanting to take the next one ahead of next year. But I don't think either of them will battle too hard here in the last race of the season. It's just a case of taking a bit of a consolation prize if you can get yourself a trophy in the last race of the year. Because they don't want to damage the trucks, they don't want to take any risk. Literally the last race of 2024. Nothing they do now will change any positions and carry anything over into 2025. They can't change that they will all start on a level pegging. But Norby is right up behind Jochen, and we of course hope to see a physical battle on circuit between the pair of them. It would be brilliant to watch. Sasha Lenz's recovery through the field has been brilliant so far as well. He's already back up into 12th place after dropping all the way down to 17th. So Sasha making moves. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez still on for an overall podium position as well in 3rd place. He's got Steffi Halm just behind. Had a penalty marker warning for Andre Kursim, truck number 11. Just at the moment pushing those track limits a little bit far for race director Michael Marek. And listen, it's just constant air horns in the arena section. It's amazing. But Antonio leads the way, so what can you expect? Listen to them. It's one of the best things about coming here to Jarama at the end of the year. The atmosphere is just electric. It's not as large an event as we get at the Nürburgring for the Truck Grand Prix or at Le Mans earlier in the year. But I tell you what, the atmosphere is just as fantastic. It's really amazing. Mark Taylor bouncing this way and that way through the right then left-handers over the crest of the hill. Some of them really trying to glance that curb. Bradley Smith there trying to chase down Louis Requenco. He's got Clemens Hecker, then Sasha Lenz just behind. Sasha now ahead of Jonathan Andre. Luke Garrett in there as well. He has got places back after overtaking Craig Reed and Simon Faulkner. Unfortunately, John Newell is in the pit lane. I'm not sure if he's retiring from the race or he's going to go back out there. But John, unfortunately, not having the race he would have wanted so far. Mark Taylor there, still in 2nd. 1.9 seconds, give or take, behind Antonio Albacete right now. And there is Sasha Lenz. He'll be glad that he confirmed 3rd in the championship earlier on in the weekend, because this race at the moment will give Antonio 10 points more than him in this current guise. Looked like Norby had dropped back a little bit there from Jochen Hahn. Seems like there was maybe an attempt at a move or something, didn't quite work, but Norby has lost a bit of time to Jochen, and I think that confirms that John Newell is out of the race, and that unfortunately is not the way he would have wanted to end his season. Franz Stahlberg from the FIA there, just going in to check whatever was wrong. Not quite sure if he lost steering or had some problems, but the truck went straight on at turn 1. I'm not sure whether that was down to contact or whether something broke, but he's gone straight into the pit lane, straight into the paddock, which is a huge shame. John's been really persistent this year, and he has said to me he wants to get ahead of the curve for 2025. Such a determined racer is John. He's a real perfectionist. He wants to make sure that there is no stone unturned to building the best race truck they can for 2025. Norbert Kisch gets a great run up the hill there to chase down Jochen Hahn. His head down towards Portago, this hairpin. Sascha Lenz has just made a move ahead of Clemens Hecker in the arena section, I believe. So Sascha just outside of the top 10 now, so in 11th position, not on for any overall championship points. And it looks like at the moment Mark Taylor is matching the pace of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. He's able to get away a little bit. Running away on that 100% renewable HVO diesel that all of our race trucks run on. It's been one of the key factors to the sustainability methods of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We've been recognised by a 3-star environmental accreditation from the FIA as a result. We have a fancy graphic for that as well, which Patrick will bring up at some point, I'm sure, in the future. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, sideways actually into the final corner there, really kicked out the rear axle. Almost floated it through the corner, drifting style for a moment there. He's got Steffi Halm behind. No immediate threat, though. But Antonio Albacete, 2.2 seconds clear at the front of the order now. Looking a little bit more comfortable as this race goes on. And I'm told that John Newell went off on his own at turn 1, unfortunately. There's been some penalty marker warnings come through. Thanks again to Alice for the final time this season in race control, feeding me all the information regarding any of the penalty markers or any potential incidents, all the information from up there. We've had penalty marker warnings for Andrei Kurzim that I mentioned earlier, Louis Requenco, truck number 64, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez actually, and there's potentially another one as he runs wide. And now truck 66, which is Jonathan Andre. Andrei Kurzim has a bit of breathing room around himself and Stefan Faas. So too does Stefan, actually. So he's not under any immediate danger. It's more Mark Taylor that has to look in his mirrors here and defend. We've got Jochen Hahn chasing down Steffi Halm as well, but he doesn't want to fight too hard there because he knows that Jose Eduardo Rodriguez definitely has the pace to get away if he needs to. He can definitely match those guys at the front of the order. He really is quick, is Jose Eduardo. I'm pretty confident that he will be a Titan class driver as of 2025. So no chance for him to try and defend his Chrome Championship crown. He's definitely proven himself as one of the fastest in the championship. Stefan Faas there kicking it out, a bit of style on the exit, as once again Louis Requenco finds himself defending from Bradley Smith. Sascha Lenz is in there as well. Maybe Bradley will be hoping that Sascha can use him as a bit of a key to open the door and go through past Louis Requenco. Another warning for penalty markers for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, as assumed. He gets the second one of those handed out to him. A third one will be a penalty. There is a shot from the pit wall. You see just how close these trucks get along there. It's excellent. I was lucky enough to go and stand on the pit wall for practice yesterday and then warm up this morning. It really is a sight to behold, these trucks flying past you at 100 miles an hour. 5 tons of racing machine really does move quickly. You can see all the fans cheering and clapping away on the banks there. What a view they've got as well as they enter the arena. We're on to lap 6 out of 12 now. In case you haven't been joining us for our streams earlier on in the year and you're wondering why I'm saying lap 6, the counter in the top left of the screen actually tells you how many laps we've completed, not which lap we are on. Norbert Kish looking patient at the moment behind Jochen Hahn. Again, they know that they don't really need to take any risk at this point now. It's not going to change anything in the championship. I know that Norby would love to finish in 3rd position, though, because that would mean he scores exactly 400 points this season. He's on 392 right now. Jochen could happily take 7 points and finish on 300. That would please me greatly, I can tell you that. But they'd need to swap around a position and both get ahead of Steffi Halm for that to happen. So we'll keep our eyes on it, see if it does come about. But that would be Norby 3rd and Jochen 4th. And they first have to get past Steffi and then Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Norby, you can see there, just trying to take a wider line on the way into the corner to tuck it in on the exit and then get a run up the hill. Didn't quite work for him that time round. There was Stefan Faas. And there is Antonio Albacete. Hundreds of wins in this championship before for Antonio and hundreds of podiums. And it'd be great for the 3-time champion to win here in front of a Spanish crowd. He may not have had a good weekend so far, but what a great, beautiful way that would be for him to end it. And to end his 2024 championship with 3 race wins would be awesome. Jochen, let's not forget, is second in the championship with only 1 win. There's a bunch of other drivers that have got 2 race victories. Steffi Halm has 2, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez has 2, and we have 3 stars from the FIA as part of the FIA 3-star environmental accreditation. So you can keep your race victories. We've got accreditation stars to be proud of. Louis Requenco certainly saying to Sasha, no thank you. None of that. You are not coming through here. Runs wide on the exit of turn 1. Sasha gets mighty close to the back of him as they go through Varsi, the right-hander, into Le Mans, then Farina. Sasha tries to get a cut back down the inside of Louis. Nearly makes contact through the left-hander into Farina. He goes straight on the brakes to Sasha, tries to open up the corner. Gets a good run on the exit, but not enough to put his nose down the inside before they go up the hill. We've had a penalty marker warning for Luke Garrett. He's had his first warning of the race. But Sasha at the moment fighting back hard after the earlier hardships of losing those positions. As look at that, late on the brakes, trying to go round the outside of Portago. And now he's going to try and tuck it back in on the inside. Now he's going to try and set the move up. Nearly contact between the two of them. Oh, I think there was a little bit of contact there, actually. Slight puff of smoke comes from the tyres as they rub them together. Louis on the inside, Sasha on the outside. Louis gets a bit of understeer, backs out of it, and Sasha Lenz goes through. Good stuff by both of them. Louis recognised that he needed to not run wide there and not allow Sasha to be sort of knocked off the circuit. A small display of good sportsmanship, that actually, from Louis Requenco. In a lot of other racing series, you'd have seen them keep it pinned and just send him off the track into the barriers, but that was not the case there. Great respect. Clemens Hecker has now got a penalty marker warning, I'm told. Antonio Albacetti now leads by 3.5 seconds over Mark Taylor, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, then Norbert Kish in the background, looking either way of Jochen Hans try and come through as we go on to lap number 8. Only a couple more laps left in the 2024 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It's my 4th year with the series now, and every year it goes by quicker and quicker. And this final weekend has been a real adventure indeed. Look at that, Steffi Halm now very much under pressure from Jochen and Norby. As they go up over the top of the hill, Jochen gets a good run, but runs it wide onto the gravel on the right, kicks up a lot of dust. Norby backed out of that one just in case there was any issues there. And again, good show of respect, good show of sportsmanship. You can see the sun has definitely set a bit more on not just the championship, but of course the race weekend here at Jarama. It's a lot more flat than it was before. It's not as glistening in the sunshine as we've seen before. No long shadows after an evening's race. Jochen looks down the inside of Steffi, tries another move actually. I think got his nose down the inside there. Was there contact? No, the two Ivecos remain side by side, but Steffi gets a great run on the exit of the corner. She really punches the number 44 machine out of that hairpin. As Sasha pushing very hard here, runs a little bit wide, kicks up some dust. Requenco still ahead of Bradley Smith in the background there. Smith chasing another overall championship point. Antonio Albacetti goes by. Next up then, Mark Taylor, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez after that. Jochen Hans still defending well from Norbert Kirsch. We're now on to the 9th lap of the race. Soon getting to the point where once we've now completed 75% of the race, any red flags will determine the race as a result. Races do not get resumed if they are red flagged after 75% distance in most cases. Now, is Jochen going to send it for a move here on Steffi? It looks like he's looking down the inside. Steffi says, nope, no thank you. Oh, Jochen says, yes, please. Gives a bit of a nudge, a double nudge into Le Mans. Steffi parking the truck in the middle of the road there, doing a really good job of defending this position. Norbert Kish dropped off a little bit at the end of the last lap. He's back in the picture slightly now. I think Norby a bit quicker in the latter section of the lap. So he's leaving himself a gap so he can then move into it and really close in on the trucks ahead. Because if he's right behind them coming out of a corner, you can't utilize the run. You can't utilize it and fly past anybody. Apparently somebody is off at turn 1. There's a truck off. Not sure if they're still completely off the circuit or whether it's just somebody who's had an off. Apparently Craig Reed off the road. Off the road owed, they would say in Stoke. Not sure if he's managed to continue, but Simon Faulkner has gone past him. We've got yellows down there at turn 1. We'll have to see whether that continues on. And that's a very, very interesting place to end up, Craig. Look at the torque of these things, though. You'd see a Formula 1 car try and do that, and it'd just dig itself into the gravel. But Reed has decided to crack on, gets his foot down, turns turn 1 into a sand pit. But fair play. It's meant that we don't have to have a red flag. He's not completely stranded. He's lost a lot of bodywork on the way there, though. I imagine he'll pull over to one side, potentially. As the leaders now make their way into turn 1, it's going to feel very different, but I'm really intrigued as to how Craig Reed ended up there, facing the wrong way like that. Unless he'd just gone straight on and tried to turn back on himself and then get around, but it looked like he'd had a spin of some sort. Not sure what caused that. Not a good way to end the weekend for Craig and his brother Simon and the rest of the Reed Truck Sport team. You can see he's staying out of the way there on the right-hand side as best he can. It's a difficult circuit to try and stay out of the way here, actually. Something definitely not working for him, though, because I expected that he'd speed up at that point and stay with Norby and the rest of the gang, because there was quite the gap in the traffic there, but I'm not sure if he's suddenly become stranded, whether he'll try and park it in a safe space out of the way on the inside of the corner exit. Hopefully not too major an issue. There's Andre Kurzim over the top of the hill, Stefan Faas, then Sasha Lenz up into 9th place now. Sasha having a really good recovery, as there is the green machine of Louis Requenco. They're all technically green machines running on 100% renewable HVO diesel, but Louis more so, with the green livery and the green 5th wheel that you can see there on Bradley Smith's MAN. Bit of damage to the left-hand side of Bradley Smith's truck, but he wants that top 10 overall, and he'll need to overtake Louis Requenco to go and get it. We're on lap 10 out of 12 here at Jarama in round 28 of the season, the last race of the year. And it's Antonio Albacete on home soil, leading this one from Mark Taylor and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. First and second in the Chrome Championship, but just in reverse order on the circuit. Apparently Luke Garrett has had a brief moment off at turn 4, but he's continued on. Luke's still in 14th position, still scoring some points in the Chrome class to finish his championship. I think this will be a weekend that they want to forget, to be honest. And not the best season for them either. A lot of bad luck, a lot of mechanical unreliability, or lack of reliability. We've had a penalty marker warning for Stefan Faas, truck number 24, as Jochen again tries to find a way past Steffi. Doesn't work round there. Can't make it work into Farina either. And now Norbert Kish back into the picture as well. He wants a piece of the action. He wants to get back in front of these two. The two Ivecos ahead of him in almost identical liveries. Steffi with the orange flashes up the side, Jochen with the blue. They are teammates at De Bullen von Iveco. Second in the team's championship for this year. And you can see that Norby is now just trying to find a wider line and go through. That was Craig Reed into the pit lane. Unfortunately, issues for Craig, meaning that he will not continue and finish this race. He has completed a lot of the race, though. So I'm not sure how much of that he needs to complete to be classified. If he's only 1 lap down, I think that may be okay. We're on lap 11 out of 12 at this stage. 1 more lap to go in the 2024 season. And is this battle between Norbert Kirsch and Jochen Hahn going to really erupt now? We'll have to wait and see. They've got an awards dinner to attend after this, so not quite sure if they want to go into that elbows out as much as they will in the race. But it's always a good, fantastic chance to see them have a scrap with each other. They're both very competitive, and we know that they enjoy fighting on circuit. They've had some great battles before. Here we go, though, everybody. Final lap of the season, and it's Antonio Albacete leading the way in Spain, with Mark Taylor in second position, having a fantastic weekend so far. Mark having 2 second places and a win in the Chrome class, and a second place overall earlier in the weekend. Looked like he had a bit of a lock-up there. Hopefully not a case of a commentator's curse as he went into turn 1. Stefan Fast there trying to defend from Sasha Lenz. Sasha tries it round the outside. Doesn't work for him. Can he get the cut back down towards the arena? Looks like he's got a run on Stefan. Might have his nose down the inside here, might Sasha. Oh, has to back out of it, though. Stefan says, not on your life, mate. You can stay there, son. I don't know how to say that in German, but that's what he'll be saying. You can hear a bit of tyres screeching and all sorts going on ahead of them. Not quite sure if anybody's trying to just light up the rears and kick the back end out. Let's not forget as well, this is Andrei Kursim's final lap with Don't Touch Racing. It's been a brilliant partnership, very entertaining to watch. They've had a tough year themselves, actually. 6th place in the championship so far. And there he is, all on his lonesome, really, in this race at the minute. I'm sure he won't mind that. Brings the truck home nice and clean. No dents, no scratches, no damage. And there is Bradley Smith. Not so much worried about the bodywork and damage, also in a Don't Touch Racing truck as well. He's trying to get past Louis Requenco as Stefan Fast is trying to defend from Sasha Lenz. Sasha all over him at this point of the lap. Stefan putting the truck in the right place at the right time. But you can guarantee that up front, the Spanish fans are about to hit fever pitch. It's going to be a real fiesta tonight because Antonio Albacete wins the final race of the season and wins here on home soil in Spain. Albacete wins for the 3rd time this season. Mark Taylor takes a fantastic 2nd place with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez behind him. Then Steffi Halm, Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kisch. What a brilliant race that was to complete the season. Andrei Kursim finishes in 7th position ahead of Stefan Fast, who holds off Sasha Lenz to the end. And Louis Requenco is just going to hold on to that final overall points position. And the Chrome podium is going to be Mark Taylor taking his 2nd Chrome win of the weekend ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. And then Louis Requenco takes his 2nd podium. Apologies, Stefan Fast. I do apologize. Stefan Fast takes a podium, his 17th of the year. But I'm just going to let the pictures do it justice now as Antonio makes his way round into the arena, knowing that he doesn't have to use these Goodyear tyres anymore for the rest of the season. We're bound to see some donuts here. Watch this. Mark Taylor locks up a brake as well. Does a burnout, and Antonio, I'm sure, will entertain the fans here. How fantastic is that? The fans absolutely, sorry, the marshals even love it here. But Antonio showing them just what it's all about. Dust and smoke absolutely everywhere. Mark Taylor doing burnouts with him as well. How cool is this? How cool are truck racing trucks? It's just amazing. Antonio throws it onto the grass. He won't care. He's just enjoying himself. It's almost like he gets a standing ovation from the drivers around him there. Norbert Kisch also lighting up that rear axle. Smoke everywhere from Norby's truck too. He and Antonio, don't forget, win the team's championship this year, and they get to celebrate that together. Smoke from Sasha Lenz also. There's just a traffic jam down at Le Mans and Farina right now. Mark Taylor at the top of the hill completing his burnout, and look at how the smoke remains behind the cab because there's no air going over it, pushing it away. It just sort of lingers in the air behind the cab. It's pretty amazing. Look at that down there. And it's just brilliant. It's definitely one of the best moments of the season. There's Sasha Lenz continues, does another burnout on the spot. Antonio's already gone. That's the mad thing there, is that it's hard for any of them to see past that. But Antonio's already gone. He's already up the top of the hill. Clemens Hecker now getting in on it as well, doing a burnout of his own. Sasha Lenz still doing that. Stefan Fast also. Great camaraderie, great entertainment from our drivers. Hats off to them. And Jonathan Andre getting in on it as well. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Norbert Kish with the door open on his MAN. I think he's waving to all the marshals and showing his appreciation to all of them around the circuit. Not sure whether he needs to just swing the truck back in the other direction to close that, or whether he will just keep it open. There's still loads of smoke down there in the arena. And Mark Taylor, look, drifting it now around the final couple of corners. How cool is that? With how little weight they have over the rear end. I was not going to say easy to drift these trucks, but they are more configured for it. So cool. Mark needs to... Oh, you crossed the white line there, son. I'm sure they'll let him off with that. Sasha Lenz also doing some drifting at the top end of the circuit. Still donuts by Jochen Hahn. I'm pretty sure that's still down in the arena section, is it not? No, that's down at the hairpin. I couldn't quite figure out where that was for a second then, but Jochen putting on a show for all the marshals. They basically come out onto the circuit to come and celebrate with our drivers. Andre Curzim, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez all drifting too. And Bradley Smith, what a great weekend for him. He's really turned it around and finished his season so strong. Sasha Lenz there doing a great old drift. But what a feel-good atmosphere this is to complete the championship. It's always a great moment. It's always a very sad moment because the season is over. At the same time, it's the moment where everybody just lets it go and they all come together and have a good time to celebrate it. There's a lot of great teams that come together, full of great people. Mark Taylor doing a burnout even in the paddock, by the look of it. There's so much smoke hanging out the back of that truck. Not sure if some of it isn't steam at this point, if I'm honest with you. Antonio Albersetti then will pull into Parc Ferme. A race winner for the third time this season. And a home race winner at that as well. Mark Taylor pulls in next to him. Bad look of it, they'll want to shut that truck off as soon as possible. But T-Sport Burnau get a win on home soil. They played the game for that today and certainly made it work. The marshals now checking how much rubber has been laid down on the track. A lot is the answer. I've just heard that somebody... I mean, the media centre has just started absolutely vibrating and rumbling. I think Norbert Kish has just come into the paddock and done a burnout there. You can see the smoke on the right-hand side, actually. I was just in that room there immediately to the camera's side of the building. And the whole thing has just vibrated massively. There's Mark Taylor. 2 second-place finishes overall this weekend. What a great, great weekend for him. Antonio and Tim, big hug from Tim Frost at T-Sport Burnau. Provides Antonio with such a fantastic platform. There's Casino as well. And he celebrates with the fans. Lovely moment. Tim shouts his usual Antonio. Sounds like somebody else in the paddock is also doing donuts now. I can tell you the floor is vibrating underneath me. But Tim and the guys now will have a solid debrief. They didn't have the best weekend to finish the year, but you know what? They made the most of it. Like I say, played the game with the format, and they've done a great, great job. Let's have a look at some results then, shall we, for how that race ended up. And we'll come back to all of our podium presentations in just a few moments' time. There is Jose Eduardo Rodriguez making his way in. He was part of the traffic jam, actually, earlier on, so he's only just made it into the paddock now. Stefan Faas pulls in there behind Antonio. And there we go. Albersetti wins with Mark Taylor second, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez third, ahead of Steffi Halm and Jochen Hahn. Norbert Kish, Andre Curzim, Stefan Faas, Sasha Lenz and Louis Riquenco complete the top 10. Bradley Smith finishes 11th ahead of Heinrich Clemens-Hecker, with Jonathan Andre, Luke Garrett, Simon Faulkner and Craig Reed unfortunately classified 3 laps down after his off into the gravel. I can tell you that now, after the donuts that have just been outside, even this room smells like burning rubber. I imagine it does down there in the paddock where Christina is. She's with Antonio Albacete.
Yeah, absolutely. Those donuts were absolutely amazing, but also the race. You made it, Antonio. How much of a relief it is.
Yeah, very good. I mean, I'm very proud, to win the last race in my home circuit. I think everybody's very happy. The team is very happy because we also, as I said before, we have very, very bad luck in the second races. So starting from the pole, it was a little bit easier, But I have to take the first laps quite fast because I didn't know what happened. Maybe Jochen or Norby can come, and we have not a very good pace in the race, I was not very, very happy with the track. I have a little bit of problems with the rear end. So I said, okay, I have to push now with the cool tires because if not, then it's going to be difficult. But at least I think we have a good dream for the race, so it was difficult for them to pass. So it was quite good. I'm very happy.
Yeah, absolutely, and the fans are cheering also. And right now it's time to celebrate, but afterwards you're getting prepped. I hope you're going to see you again then next year.
I hope so. I don't know. I think so, but we have to wait.
Absolutely. Sure. Enjoy it with the fans. Maybe one sentence in Spanish for the Spanish audience from you, like from the victory, saying thanks to the Spanish fans.
Yeah. Sí, bueno, me gustaría agradecer a toda la afición que ha venido aquí al circuito del Jarama. Por fin he podido dedicarles una victoria y espero seguir el año que viene. Gracias.
Sounds good. So you just dedicated this victory, of course, to the Spanish audience, and of course it was a present from him to the audience.
Well done.
Yeah, they played it very, very well today, did T-Sport Burnau. Hats off to Antonio Albacete. Fantastic character. And for the final time this season, everybody, here are the highlights from the race that we just witnessed. Antonio started on pole position with Mark Taylor alongside him. Norbert Kish and Jochen Hahn in the middle of the pack, hoping to make their progress forward. Everyone held their breath, though, for the start of the race. It was the final one of the season. A lump in the throat for some of us, me included, and it was definitely an exciting time. Sascha Lenz tried early moves around the outside, but unfortunately it didn't pay off, and he was wide and down to last position, while more shenanigans went on ahead. John Newell having an issue sideways for Simon Faulkner as well. John Newell eventually going off at turn 1 and retiring early from the race, not a way that he would have wanted to finish his campaign. There was some battles in the middle of the field, Sascha Lenz making his way through the order, while Mark Taylor once again showed us how well he can defend in second position. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez wasn't so much of a threat by the end, but it was the battle between Steffi Halm and Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kish that made it very entertaining inside those top 5 places. Sascha Lenz's comeback was brilliant as he overtook truck after truck, getting past Louis Requenco towards the end of the lap and leaving him in the clutches of Bradley Smith's MAN. But at the front, Steffi Halm stood firm in front of Jochen Hahn, while Norbert Kish tried to find a way through down the inside of his German rival. Craig Reed ended up in the gravel down at turn 1, but moved himself and made sure that we didn't have to have a red flag towards the end of the season. So thank you to Craig, but unfortunately retired from the race in the latter stages. But still a character building and, of course, experience building weekend for him and the team. Sascha Lenz's comeback continued as he tried to get past Stefan Fast, but Stefan would ultimately hold him off until the end of the race. Sascha trying very hard indeed to get the purple number 3 machine by. But at the very front, Antonio Albacete took a really popular victory on home soil, Mark Taylor taking another podium, and also Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, who takes home the Chrome Championship for 2024. And then fantastic celebrations with all of the donuts and of course, the marshals down there on the circuit. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez makes his way up to 3rd position for the overall podium. And joining him, Mark Taylor, after a great campaign, wraps it up really well with a lovely weekend here at Jarama. 2 second-place overall finishes and an amazing time in the Chrome class. 2 second places and 2 wins. But just listen. This guy's popular. Antonio Albacete takes the win in round 28 of the championship, his 3rd win of the year, his 8th podium appearance, and the best possible place to do it. Great stuff. Got a huge smile on my face if you can't already hear it. And the trophies handed out for our podium. 3rd position to Jose Eduardo Rodriguez.
Once again on the podium here in Madrid, here in the Grand Prix.
Second place goes to Mark Taylor. What a weekend they've had, honestly. They'll be very, very pleased. I know that his dad, Alan, was over the moon earlier on. A big hug for Antonio Albacete and a trophy to go with it. Just listen to the reaction, it's epic.
Que consigue estar en lo alto, el de T-Sport, en este podium, y por supuesto,
and now we will get the national anthem, I believe, of Spain for our race-winning driver.
Now, in the honor of the winner, Antonio Albacete. Para Antonio Albacete, para el ganador de esta carrera. Foto con la gorra Goodyear. You have the time now for the...
And now they will have their pictures on the top step of the podium.
Antonio Albacete, una más enorme. Antonio en lo alto del podio.
Antonio on first position, Mark Taylor second, and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez third. Smiles all round. They're going to change their caps. And I imagine that there will be a hell of a soaking in champagne for Antonio Albacete in just a moment.
And now is the time if you want to celebrate with the champagne. It's time to open the bottles.
And here we go. Let's see who's going to get drenched. Antonio will want to soak any of the fans that dare come near. And to be fair, Jose Eduardo and Mark decide not to drench Antonio. Fair play to him.
Sí, señor. Sí, señor.
It's his moment, isn't it? It's fantastic to see Antonio so happy. He's such a lovely guy. And this is how the championship finishes then. So Norbert Kish, 397 points. Jochen Hahn, 299. Sasha Lenz in third, ahead of Antonio Albacete. Steffi Halm ends up in fifth place, ahead of Andrei Kurzim. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez should be a Titan driver next year, I believe, with seventh place. Mark Taylor is eighth, ahead of Lucas Hahn. And Stefan Fass completes the top 10 in 2024. Next up was John Newell with Clemens Hecker, Louis Requenco, Jonathan Andre, Luke Garrett, and Bradley Smith gets an overall point just yesterday in the championship. He finishes 16th in the overall standings. And now we should head to the Chrome Championship podium. And Stefan Fass takes third position from there.
Eduardo Rodriguez, the Portuguese. He's the champion of the Chrome category, and he finished with...
Jose Eduardo Rodriguez comes back up.
Winner of this last race of the Chrome category, Mark Taylor.
And Mark Taylor takes his second Chrome win of the weekend. Very well done to Mark. Like I've said, a great weekend to round out the campaign. And as he said earlier in the interviews, it's been a fantastic show of just how far they've come. Since last year, they had horrendous luck here in 2023. And now he has come back stronger than ever, taking second in the Chrome Championship and multiple wins in the category.
And the winner, Mark Taylor. At the same time, they are the three best of the Chrome category on the season.
And the announcer makes a very good point. Once again, the top three in the Chrome Championship all sharing the podium together. And now we should have the national anthem of Great Britain for Mark Taylor.
Pues gran aplauso, big applause.
And a big round of applause for our top three in the Chrome class from that race. They will join each other on the top step for pictures in their Goodyear caps.
The champion is Rodriguez. Vice champion, second place of the standings is Max.
I'm pretty sure they'll do the changing of the caps, not quite sure at this point. Don't think they all brought them onto the podium with them. It'll just be straight to Champagne. They've all got good practice of this right now, these guys. They've shared many podiums together. And Stefan is going to soak Mark, of course he is. Very well done to each of them. Great camaraderie between these three as well. They've been absolutely fierce with each other all year, but at the same time they've remained respectful. They've all got smiles on their faces and they have a great time of doing what they do. Here's how the Chrome Championship finished then. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, fantastic as ever, 348 points ahead of Mark Taylor and then Stefan Faas. John Newell finishes in 4th place, another strong year for him. Lucas Hahn, with the races that he did, ended up in 5th place. Surely we need to see Lucas more often in the future. Louis Riquenco finishes in 6th place ahead of Clemens Hecker. He wins that battle at the end of the year, ahead of Bradley Smith, who moves ahead of Luke Garrett, and Jonathan Andre completes the top 10 in the Chrome Championship. Craig Reed gets 10 points by the end ahead of Stefan Kirsch, with Simon Faulkner on 7. Some great race-by-race entries in the Chrome category this year. It's been lovely to see them amongst the other drivers on the grid. We have the, I believe, the young drivers podium going on here. Bradley Smith and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez moves up as well. Great to see the recognition for these young guns as well, coming up through the order. There's many generations of drivers in truck racing, and it's great to see that these guys continue their legacies. They can have whichever trophy you want, Jose. Lovely stuff. And now we'll have the Portuguese national anthem for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez.
Best young drivers here on the podium.
Fantastic to see a celebration for the young drivers in the championship. Jose Eduardo and Bradley will share the top step of the podium together for the pictures. It's lovely of the series and the FIA to recognise the achievements of these young drivers coming through. Like I said, they certainly fight it out with the big guns in the series. It's great. Really, really great. Bradley certainly opened a few eyes this weekend as well with his performances. His qualifying performance earlier today was phenomenal, and I know a lot of people will really, really keep an eye on him from now after seeing that one. I've told you before from the British Championship that Bradley really is a rising star, and he proved it this weekend amongst some of Europe's absolute finest. And hats off to him and Don't Touch Racing for forming such a great partnership so quickly and working well together. It looks very, very busy down there in the driver's pen, and we're going to go back down to Christina very quickly for an interview.
Second on this final podium,
And we are going to talk to the Chrome category winner. Zé, mais uma entrevista. The final last interview here, because you won the overall Chrome category. What a great achievement is that for your team?
Yeah, it's very good for me, for my team. It's a good final, the championship. My team is very proud of me, and I'm very proud of them, and it's very good.
How did you improve as a driver throughout the season? You're still learning so much, you said once, but that was a big step for you.
Yeah, it's a big step. I learned a lot. It's a big experience for me. I have a teacher, is Antonio. Thank you for Antonio for the lessons every year, and I'm very happy, and I hope to stay here in the next year.
See you soon. Thank you very much. Enjoy the evening, of course. So this is the mentor here, Antonio Albacete, enjoying with the team. So the final words right now from our commentators, Chaz.
Yeah, thank you very much, Christina, and thank you, everybody. Once again, what a brilliant season we've had here in 2024 in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It's time for me to say goodbye. It'd be great if I could actually say it for the final time this season. Once again, it's been an absolute honour. 4 years now commentating on this championship, and it's always been great fun working with the ETRA, working with Vigay as well, all the wonderful people back in Neumarkt, and the drivers and teams as well for being so accommodating and so fun along the way. Hopefully there's many more to come. I absolutely love doing this. So thank you everybody for listening for this season. Goodbye for now, and I'll hand you back to Christina.
Thank you very much. We're here alongside the stairs, and it's going to need to be cleaned up. Look at that, because of all the champagne we had throughout this season. It was so great that we witnessed, and Norbert Kirsch is right coming for the final, the last interview. Come on around here, because he's the champion of this season. The music is on. It's a jump, the music, and you did jump, obviously. How great was the achievement from you, from the team? Congratulations, overall champion.
Yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, huge thank you to the team, Reves Racing team, because they did an amazing job. You know, the whole season, I think 100% performance, you know, no mistakes, you know, no technical problems or you know, whatever. I think we finished all the races. We took all the pole positions. We took all the 20 points race victories, which was there, you know. So I think this season was really unique again and really over the top again. And yeah, really good performance. And yeah, a big thank you to Mr. Reves as well, our team owner, for giving us this great opportunity, you know, that we can show ourselves and we can achieve such good performance. So yeah, thank you everybody.
Thank you for the final words. Enjoy the party also with your team. Thanks, Norbert Kirsch. He's going back on the scooter also rapidly, of course. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Maybe in Hungarian farewell, and thank you to the fans also in Hungarian.
Oh yeah, igen, köszönöm nektek nagyon a szurkolást, mert egész évben éreztük, hogy itt vagytok velünk, és hogy szurkoltok, és hogy sokan kijöttetek a Szlovákia ringre, vagy más verseny hétvégén is, külföldön is sokadokkal találkoztunk, úgyhogy meg hát az interneten látunk mindenkit, úgyhogy nagyon-nagyon köszönjük a szurkolást. Sziasztok!
I understood Slovakia ring, but that was one word. Of course, a huge thank you for everyone. And of course, I like to thank our Vigay production team also. I like to thank the whole ETRA crowd there, and the office, and box number 5. It's the whole TV crew, our cameramen, all the producers, everyone around. He's got to push the cameraman after the thank you. I want to thank Lena van der Maas. It's been a pleasure hosting this series for you. My name is Christina Run. It's been a pleasure. What a great season it was. That's it, the finale of the FIA Goodyear European Truck Racing Championship, and we're so happy to see you soon. Follow our social channels over the winter. I'm sure Barbara will put on lots of spectacular things on there. So that was it from Spanish Jarama, the Gran Premio. As we can see, the stage is going to get empty. So this is the final last word. Goodbye.